live. How we doing, everybody? And welcome to the Cooler Heads podcast with your host Brett Wetzel, Adam Muffnick, lots of vagina, and we have a special guest, Dirk Nauman from
Nauman.
See, I told you I fucking butcher it all the time.
Did you say yeah, man?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, man.
That's it. It's just yeah, man now. So I actually met Dirk when we were over at the AHR conference. Funny story how we met. But let's get a little backstory on Dirk. What he's done, where he's been, where he's working at, and then you can tell the story how we met.
Which is an interesting story.
Yes, sir. All right, brother. Dirk, introduce yourself, man. Tell us a little about yourself.
So yes, Dirk Nauman is my name, and I serve the HVAC industry in a couple capacities. So I am the distributor service manager for the Habegger Corporation, which is a distributor of Carrier Brand equipment and ICP equipment. We span from Pennsylvania to Iowa, from the Great Lakes down to Alabama now. And I am the factory tech support rep for Carrier and the applied equipment. So I play around with a lot of chillers, large rooftop units, and commercial splits. And then I also help contractors when it comes to BACnet. So tech support on that side. And also through that job, I fell in love with programming, helping people, and I created the HVAC simulator is what it's being marketing as. So basically, pretty much all the calls that I receive are 90% of them are probably electrical troubleshooting, reading schematics. So the first trainer we made was basically how to read schematics. So
how long has that simulator been out and about and running?
A year and a half. Been in business for 2 years. It's been out running around, but I shipped them all over the US and also Canada, just to get some feedback from instructors and contractors. And it was difficult to get them back just because they liked it so much. And hence, let's try a business. And I'm still debating whether or not that was a good decision or not, because it consumes my time. Running a business is crazy.
Yeah, I'm too kind of anal retentive. So like, I don't know. I think I'd be overbearing if I had my own business.
As am I.
Yeah, once again, that's why I can't do it. So, but no, like I said, Dirk introduced himself, and you want to give a little context there, because I was utterly confused for a second there.
Yeah. So, seeing the name tag at the HR, and I was like, I'm supposed to meet this guy. I'm supposed to reach out to that guy. And I can't remember if it was Brian or Eric Kaiser. It might have been Eric. I think I told you Brian, but I can't remember. But they both know the backstory of who I am and what I've done. Yeah. And they said that, hey, you got to talk to this Brett Wetzel. Wetzel. How do you pronounce your name?
Wetzel. Just like pretzel. Not that
Pretzel. Wetzel.
We only refer to him as pretzel.
Pretzel. Okay. Nice. So yeah, seen your name. I thought it was you. So I said, all right, let's go talk to this dude, see what he knows. And little back history is that I am a recovering alcoholic and drug addict with 19-year sobriety. So that's why I thought I had to go talk to Pretzel, because he was in recovery himself. But in the
not yet.
Shut up.
and
I hate you all.
And pretty much that's where the confusion was, is like, I think, Brett, your mind was thinking like, wow, do these people think I need to be in recovery? Like, why the hell are you coming talking to me?
Yeah. And then long circle around, he's like, I was like, man, you should be on the Cooler Heads podcast and tell everyone what you're doing, for the addicts, because you've been in recovery for how long?
19 years.
Damn.
19 years. And that is with no one hitters on the weekend.
Oh, man, that's good for you, man. Adam, you stopped drinking.
Yeah, it's been 2 years now for me, which
Damn.
seems like a long time, but when I hear 19 years, 2 years is nothing, right?
Day by day.
Yep.
So did you quit drinking because of health reasons or because of stupidity?
A little bit of both. I noticed like the quality of my life just wasn't there, and I didn't feel good on a daily basis, and then like my day-to-day actions weren't what I wanted them to be, and I think I attributed a lot of that to drinking,
Mhm.
And I feel 100% better since I stopped drinking, but it was I drink quite a bit, on a daily basis. Like, I'm not gonna say I drink a whole bottle of something every single day, but, like, I had multiple drinks on a daily basis, so, um and I honestly, it was fairly easy. I just made the decision, and that was it. The last beer I ever had was a Guinness with Bill Spone on the Overtime Show, and I remember distinctively that was it, and I'm like, "Man, I feel awful. This is it. I'm done." And that was the end of it.
So, what was yours? I mean, Adam's like, oh, I'm just gonna quit drinking. What did you end up? Was it the Department of Corrections that put you into your rehab program?
Yeah, so actually, I haven't mentioned that I was in prison yet.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, so yeah, I spent 10 years in a federal institution for my stupidity. And it was actually, I was trying to get a furlough. I did not find recovery, it found me. But in order to get transferred, in case you guys didn't know, drugs and alcohol are in prison. And with that, I quit just for the simple fact is that my grandmother was on her deathbed and there was a possibility I was going to get furlough. And back then, when you got furloughed, you jumped on a bus and from point A to point B, but you always got off the bus and someone picked you up and you ran, and then you just had to be at the bus station when the feds picked you up. So, but that did not happen, but I was trying to make it happen. So with that comes a urine analysis. So I just quit. And like with Adam, I've seen that the quality of life started getting better when I quit. But again, I did not quit because I thought I had an issue. I quit because I wanted to see my grandmother one more time. But good things started happening when I quit, and I said, there might be something in this, and started reading the AA book. And the one thing that I did not have in my life was this brotherhood thing that people talked about in the program, and started making friends and true friends, something I didn't know what a friend was or how to make a friend or how to be a friend. And so that's how I got into the recovery. But I'm going to back up, and the alcohol, the dibble dabbling with the narcotics, it wasn't that. I was an absolute living on the street type of guy at the time. That did happen, but with that, I found out that my wife at the time was having an affair and she was with another man. And nothing cures a broken heart better than a fine woman. So where do you go to find the women? Find women? You go to strip joints, right? That's where you get them. And with that, I connected with the methamphetamines and got addicted and took my life down, homeless, living on the street, kicking indoors, sleeping in hotels.
Wow.
Damn.
So, oh yeah. But yeah. And that all led to the feds coming in and picking me up. And, they thought a 121-month sentence would be good for me.
So what would you actually get arrested for? Just possession or
It was. So with the methamphetamines, me being from a small farmers community, there's this thing called anhydrous ammonia that needed for the manufacturing of methamphetamines. And so I knew where it's a fertilizer is all I knew, what it was. But did not realize it was used in the production of drugs. So with that, it was I started bringing them up here, and one of the guys that I was hanging out with was a confidential informant. He was burning the candle at both ends, and at some point he gave information away. Totally guilty. I'm not passing any responsibility off. I take full responsibility. But that's how it went down. Those are the facts.
So do you think you would have been clean with or without with the assist of federal time?
No, good gracious, no, I'd be dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it was a spiral downhill quick.
So how did you get to where you're at today? Like, how are you, I have your company and the HVAC simulator pulled up on my screen right now, and I'm looking at it. It's like super impressive. It's amazing. So you go from being incarcerated and now you have this company and you're selling your products,
So I learned HVAC in the institution, and with that, was getting books, reading. So I started. The first book that I read, by the way, was the ASHRAE book. So when I'm reading this ASHRAE book, the 1995 book, I'm thinking to myself, this is what HVAC is. I'm so clueless. I'm so ignorant. I'm reading this book. It's an engineering book, and I'm so clueless. And and I'm not a good reader at that time. I probably never read a whole book in my life, but that's the first book I'm trying in HVAC. And it's just mind-boggling. Wow, these guys are really smart people. I feel really dumb. And I'm trying to read this book, not getting anywhere. But I get into the facilities program, and then in the facility program, started learning. But it was a lot of time reading in my cell. So I'm huge on theory. And I just started reading, and it's the old institution. It's actually, if you want to really see what the institution is, it's actually called the Narcotic Farm. This is the government funding money. This is crazy story here. The government's funding money into this hospital back in the 30s and the 40s, where the CIA is looking into mine expansion. And you can walk in there as an addict back in the 30s and 40s, and they would give you any drug you wanted for free. And you became a test subject. But that was shut down, I think, in the 70s when it was made into a federal institution. But if you Google Narcotic Farm, Lexington, this place is nuts. You're going to see people strap into chairs, and it's insane. But that's the institution I was at. But reading. And then when I was released from the institution in April 20th of 2010, imagine that, 420, me being a pothead. And with that, I was going to give life a fair shake. I went around to every contractor, and I was in a halfway house, and they said, no, and hell no, we're not going to employ you. But I just kept plugging away. And then a gentleman by the name of Frank Scher, he gave me the opportunity. And from there, very shortly, it was in 2010 is when I met Alex Meany. And when I met Alex at a Right Soft training, that was the first training I ever been to, official, real training in the HVAC. And with that, I decided that I'm either going to do it right or I'm not going to do it at all. And, and I paid for it myself. I paid for the $400 out of my own pocket. And it just has escalated. Then I went to work for a gentleman who was the owner of AdTech. It's a load-based calculation, Jerry Faw. It's in Toluca, Illinois. He owns Energy Specialist Company. I was his service manager. He's a self-taught programmer. I got into writing PLC logic and just self-taught myself. I never went to school for HVAC. And then I was cooking breakfast for 3 years with this gentleman by the name of Mark Bersat. And he says, hey, I got a job for you. Come on over to Habeger Corporation. And my mindset was that, all right, here it is. I got 4 drug felonies. I can't work for a corporation, right? And his boss gave me a call, and his name was Rick, and he was a mentor because he was on the business side of the business, and he didn't know anything about HVAC, but he couldn't even spell VRF. It's always VFR. But with that, it was a blessing, and I got hired on, and I've came in, and passion for teaching, training, and the simulator came while I was working at Habeger. They signed off intellectual property rights, and I just kind of want to give back. HVAC has given me a life that's unbelievable. So, long backstory. Sorry.
Oh, that's awesome. Great story.
So did you have a conventional upbringing, like where you'd say, because I mean some people in their life they'll blame things on their family. So
Oh,
my life sucked because my this happened to my dad, and this was gonna happen to me regardless, and yeah, you know what I mean. Basically, not taking any responsibility for yourself and just blaming everyone else.
yeah. My upbringing was, I don't know if it was normal, if anyone's upbringing is normal, but yeah, mom and dad were in my life. They're married, and dad died actually when I was in the institution. And when he died, all my pipe dreams, when you're visiting family in the institution, you come up with all these prison dreams, and this is what you're going to do. And then in 2006, when my father passed away, everything was crushed. It just gone. It's like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do now? And, my dad had a lot of rental property, and he was a Caterpillar worker, in the factory. And but he's workaholic and always had a shop. I'd go out, tear things up. My grandfather, both my grandparents live in town. One was a chemist for BF Goodrich, and the other one was a body mechanic. And he had 57 pink Cadillac, 54 Bel Air. He had all the cool old cars. And I was always out there tinkering around. On a farm. He had land out there. With that, it was but yeah, so normal childhood, I would say. Dad was an old German dude, and he's the way we were raised. But no blame on my parents whatsoever. Of course, as a kid, I think everybody thinks their family's dysfunctional, but as a grown ass man, looking back, it was a normal childhood. I hated summers because I had to work. I know, it sucked because kids are always talking about vacations, where they're going to go in the summer. I hated summers just because I had to work my ass off.
Yeah. No, it's weird. Like I said, it's weird because it depends on how that person was and what kind of motivation that they had. Like, my motivation for success was not wanting to be like my parents. You know what I mean? So that
Mhm.
was like my biggest deciding factor. Um, where you had a pseudo normal childhood. So I mean, was because you did say your wife at the time that was one of the biggest reasons why you took that dark path. Is that what happened?
Yeah, her having an affair, me. So, and by no means am I disgracing my family at all when I say this, but as a kid, my dad being the old German dude, whenever I would be crying, it was like, go figure it out. Go to your room, go figure it out. And so, when it comes down to emotions, I did not know how to talk about emotions. I didn't know, what healthy emotions were. It's just something I had to go figure out. So that carried into my adulthood. And when I seen that found out the wife was cheating on me, it was you know, um, how am I going to deal with these emotions? How am I going to kill that pain? And but yeah, and that's what really took me down is, I didn't know how to open up.
I think that's probably very common in people, especially probably men our age, and maybe slightly older as well too. My mom and dad were divorced, and I was kind of raised by my grandpa and my aunt. My grandpa was a World War II vet, and the whole time, growing up as a kid, it was, something would happen, you'd fall down, you get hurt, and he'd be like, "Stop crying like a girl," or whatever. "What's wrong?" Blah blah blah. So it was always like my entire life holding stuff in because that's what I was taught to do. You know, by that generation, that was how you were a man. You didn't talk about your feelings, and you didn't
Right.
talk about when you're upset about something.
Yeah. What are you supposed to do as a man? Hold it in until you hit your mid 40s and die of a heart attack like everybody else.
Yeah. So, but I that's the same thing I'm dealing with now with my wife is like, I'm trying to shift my mindset and not do the same thing with my kids, which it's definitely like I have to make an effort to do so because I was raised a certain way.
All right, my buddy wants to say hi there, so he can go.
You're a cat guy?
I am. I
Oh
envy.
my goodness.
I envy cats for how much they sleep. I love them.
The life-
Oh, everyone just hung up on the show now.
No.
Not only is this guy talking about his emotions, and he's a cat lover, right? He's
No, this show's a little bit more unconventional, right? Because I mean, most of the time, guys, technicians in general, they don't want to talk about their feelings. But I learned something really, really important growing up. My mom, I had asked my mom at one point why at that point he was in and out of the hospital. Why dad's always trying to hurt himself? Why is he always trying to hurt himself? And she basically said to me, she's like, Brett, when you hide things and you keep things down deep, dark within, it boils out crap and filth. So like the easiest thing to do is to share your pain with people, and then I don't mean, oh, this is my life. No, just share to kind of keep you grounded a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't know how you deal with some anxiety and stuff like that, but that's my immediate response is keep them laughing and just talk about your pain because it just make light of it. You're still talking about it, you're still sharing it, so that seemed to help me, unless I'm wrong.
no, each is their own. But no, I'm an open book. I share it. My current wife, and by the way, God has a sense of humor. I married an attorney, by the way. But with that, I share everything. I'm an open book. There's a promise out there is that we will not regret the past, nor wish to shut the door on it. We will see how our past experiences can benefit others, and that's what I'm here in this life for, is to share the knowledge and the gifts that I have. We all have them. Share it. Share that shit, man. I mean,
that's an awesome mindset to have. A lot of people try to hoard everything they have, and I've caught myself doing the same. And I'm trying to make a concerted effort to do otherwise.
I'm inherently lazy, so I mean, the more shit I share with people, the more times I'm not gonna have to deal with that issue. You know what I mean?
you're supposed to share that shit so you can continue, down the path of learning.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that I'm lazy.
You're supposed to inspire, but no, and that's one thing that I like doing is figure this out, share it with someone else. So I have a team at the HVAC Corporation. I figure it out, I put the curriculum together, and then I pass it off, and I'm off to the next thing. So inspire, share, engage.
Do you make your own curriculum too with the HVAC simulator?
I do. Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely. And that's the challenge. I can write 5,000 lines of code, but when I go to write a curriculum, oh my goodness, that shit takes time.
The curriculum?
It does, because my English just sucks.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah. Oh, my
English.
I can't write a complete sentence to save my life.
I thought you were gonna tell me you were like the English was your second language or something. Like you speak
Oh, no,
pretty well.
no,
You just
no.
your English just sucks.
It just sucks.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I'm, I call it hillbilly English.
I just say I'm the world's best phonetic speller.
The world's best what?
Phonetic speller.
Oh, phonetic.
Yeah, so I spell out things the way they sound to me, which is good enough for me.
Right.
But
yeah, curriculums are hard to write. They are. They take a lot of time.
So I was freaking out when I because I made like technical documentation before, but like I never made full on classes. So I'm freaking out, and I'm like, finally I broke down because you don't want to. I don't know. You don't want to ask people, but you want to ask people to see if you're failing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I finally I emailed somebody and I was like, man, how long does it usually take on curriculum? He's like, you could take months, like legitimately, like 2 or 3 months. He's like, why? I'm like, I don't know. I just didn't feel like I was getting anything done, but never mind that now. Now I feel like I got everything done, so I'm good.
So are you sending out like curriculums to different training institutions with the HVAC simulator, or like that's
yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. And right
Yeah.
now you have the one product and you're coming out with a second, or is there more?
Yeah. So on our webpage, the first one we got, we
Here.
have 2 more products coming out.
Let me share this. Hold on.
Yeah, I'll give everyone some passwords here too.
Cool. Share screen. I was being stupid. All right. Let's see.
I'll send you my curriculum how to work a StreamYard.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, so go to hvacsimulator.com, cruise on up. So hit the actually go down. There you go. Go down. Keep going, keep going. I think the new product's on here. Keep going, keep going. That's our product. Keep going. There it is. So the one on the right, that's one we're getting ready to release. You can put any manufacturer board on there. So you can have a fully functional furnace sitting on your desktop. And so that will be actually at the HVAC Excellence. Hopefully, I'm waiting on of all things, the plastic, because there's petroleum used in plastic, and plastic is hard to get. But oh yeah, it sucks. Yeah. So go to the training page.
Where am I going? Up.
Top. Or you can go to products. Training's cool there. So if you go down, all the way down. All right, keep going all the way down. You see where it says beta tester right there? All right, type in 2 cool, the number 2, capital COOL. 2 cool.
Top secret.
Top secret. Yeah, so cruise down a little bit. Yeah, all right. Like hit diagnostic conditions down there. Down to chapter 5 to your right. To your right.
I am on the right.
Oh, the center of the page.
Center 5. Of the page. There you go. Down a little bit.
That's chapter 4. There you go.
So hit condition 1. So this is all live data here. So being a programmer, I made a data logger. I got every type of analog sensor on my mom's furnace because moms are always best a guinea pig. Yeah. And so using the field piece job link tool set. So you can see that. I don't know if I can't see it here, but the numbers are changing. Hit the air side, go down, hit air side. So you can get the psychometric, the air properties on there. So, once you hook up the gauges on a system and once you burn yourself the first time, you become an expert with the hands-on side. So I always argue the point, can you learn refrigeration by hands-on? And, you probably can, but it's going to be at the expense of the homeowner, which is going to be an injustice. But at the end of the day, what is, how do you study the relationship of refrigerant, and that's where we're going with this. So I got 9 different conditions, only 8 are shown here, but this, if you go back to refrigerant side down at the bottom left, right there, up to your right, to your right, to your right, right there. Yeah. So if you see this, it's going to have high superheat, low subcooling. So this is short of refrigerant.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So
do you have the ambient air here somewhere?
Top right, 86.9. It's not on the job link tool set.
Okay. Right there.
Right.
Okay. And then your saturated condensing temperature would be this guy right here, right?
Yeah. So we're waiting on the high res images from Field Piece. So
okay.
But yeah, and
can you move these around? No.
Nope. So we're after temperatures, so the pressure is going to be the pressure. Okay. You can only check it on the outside, but these little thermistors, so the probes represent being at the condenser. But if you highlight over the thermistors, like if you go to the bottom right, we're by the TXV bulb.
Yeah.
You'll see the temperature there. So you'll see evaporator superheat. You can calculate that. But the gauges, if you're at the outdoor unit, it's always going to give you the total superheat.
That'd be really cool. Like if this is basically your condenser and these are the U-bends. If you actually had thermistors on the sides you can basically hover over this
Mm-hmm.
and kind of see what you're doing, because then you can see
All right.
the how much subcooling you're getting with each pass, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you should be getting subcooling just about to the very, very end, right?
Right. So I'm getting into this augmented reality, and you're gonna be able to see that refrigerant, what's happening in there. And the PE chart is going to be thrown in there. You'll see the PE chart on there. So, but if you go to check,
because when you Google HVAC simulator, it shows
Mhm.
up HVAC simulator video game. Is that
no, that's not me. I see that though.
Yeah,
I
so
see
that
that.
too.
Yeah, go to chapter 4 right there. Just click right there. That's up. Go down one. Just click there. Then go over to the screen and click continue. Continue again. Maybe. There you go. So now you have, I don't know why it's that work. There it goes.
That's pretty
So,
cool.
yeah, so now you can see what the actual, and this is real live data. This is all the analog sensors I put on a system. And with that, that's high airflow there. You can see that the capacity, if you click on the bottom right, medium high.
So wait a minute before so this it's not actually coming up on the Field Piece app. You have temperature sensors that you have just on a regular input board, and you're basically using this as a frame of reference. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah.
Okay. All
That's
right.
not the actual data from the field piece. I'm just
Okay.
using their app to drop my numbers into it.
Nope, you're fine. Where am I going next?
So that's high speed. So how does airflow affect the refrigerant? Click a medium high, and you're going to see your pressure start to drop. So we have high pressure. And this is the curriculum. Why is the pressure so much higher when it's high speed? Because there's more residency with hotter air on the coil. As you slow it down, there's less residency on it. So the air is actually going to get colder. So you click on medium speed, and you're going to see the pressures drop. You're going to see your capacity drop. With higher airflow, the capacity is going to be higher because there's more heat to absorb. And if you go down to medium, low, and all we're doing is studying the relationship of the refrigerant.
It's pretty cool to visualize this.
Yeah, I don't think you could actually.
If you go to the left, you see that little XY with the little arrow down, just a little bit to your right, the black button. Yep, click that, and click superheat subcooling or SHSC. You can see actually how dynamic that superheat subcooling is. So those are all the graphs on it.
So once again, this is not the Field Piece app. This is basically you just sensors that you roguely have on there, right?
Yeah. So, but again, we're trying to teach theory. There's an X top right, by the way, which sucks. You might have to scroll up a little bit to see the X.
Right there it is.
Yeah. And all of our stuff is hosted on the ESCO Institute learning management system.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, so we have this product coming out. It's supposed to be releasing this, but we're waiting on some images from Philippines. So hopefully we'll be ready to release this. But now it's again just ways of learning. We're all learn different, and I'll put plug for all the people out there. iConnect, Hampton Engineering, Amatrol, they all make great stuff, Interplay Learning, the virtual reality. We all learn different, which, how does your mind work, and how are you going to learn best? And so, but we're having pretty cool success. And again, I'm differentiating between mechanic and a technician. Mechanical tools, technician, technology, they know how to, but yeah, it's going awesome though.
I mean,
You want to see a picture of my data logger? Can I share my screen?
Yeah. Just hit present.
Oh, you're gonna get a kick out of this. So share screen.
Share screen, yeah.
Share screen. I got two monitors. Is the easiest way. I don't know what the hell I'm doing here.
Here, hold on. Present. Share screen, and then go to window. Like, and that little window comes up.
Share screen.
Yeah. So you can do. See how it says
Oh.
Chrome tab, window, or
Right.
entire
Window.
screen?
Got it. Perfect.
There you go.
Perfect. All right.
See, we'll figure it out.
Share screen.
Should
be able. It seems like half it's cut off for some reason. It froze. Did it freeze on your end, Adam?
Yeah, all we can see is just the top bar.
What the hell?
Try to stop sharing and then not stop sharing.
Present. Share screen.
It's broken.
Window. Let's try this again. All right. Phone dump.
Oh, damn. Yeah, start doing that.
Yeah, so there's the furnace I installed at my mom's, all the blue wires.
Mm-hmm.
That is all of the analog sensors. There's my data logger that I created. So I just plug that into my computer, and when I plug it into the computer, file open. Let me see if I can find this one.
So
I went
data
to.
log are you using?
It's one I made.
Okay.
I just threw a bunch of 10K thermistors and shoot, where's it at? Let me open this one. So like a loose TXV bulb. So this is all of the data that I logged.
We're still seeing just the picture of the
You're probably in a different window.
Yeah, probably.
Shoot. Let's present.
Just if you do the entire screen, if you pick that one screen, then you know on that one side you'll always have it on there.
Yep, got it.
There we go. Add screen.
All right. So here's all the data that I logged. This is all real-time data. Dumping when I plug that cord into my computer in the data logger, it populates all this, and then it fills this in. Then I just take the numbers up from up on top, and I'm just dumping them into this filled piece here.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I'm not gonna lie, that is pretty cool.
So, and I just scrolled through it real quick here, but yeah, and so what we're doing is we're showing all live data. None of this is made up, and it's it's dynamic data on it. I even went to the point here. Check this out. This is really cool shit. Browse. I even went to this for non-condensables. So a perfectly healthy system with great perfect charge with great airflow. I went and I injected nitrogen in the suction line when this was running, just so I could collect data for non-condensables.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then when I was carrying all the tools down, because I did down in the basement, I had valves on it. And when I went down in the basement, covering the vacuum pump, the recovery machine, the refrigerant, all the tools to do this, I was like, holy shit, man, I'm old. That was a challenge running that shit down there because I don't touch the tools that much anymore.
Wow.
Yeah. So, oh my goodness. So yeah, a lot of respect for the installers out there. I've always respected installers because they got to hump all day long to get it within budget, and the office is calling them, get this shit done. It took me so long. And oh my goodness, I got a lot of respect for the installers out there.
Yeah, I don't install well. I can install, but I don't install well. I see some of these guys, even some of the jobs that I've seen Adam do, they're amazing. But you give me a can of Armaflex glue, and it's not going to end well. It's almost like the running joke with the Never Seas, right? You have the Never Seas, and all of a sudden it's fucking everywhere. Same way.
Did you see my? I don't know if you heard the story about the my dye story.
Speaking yes, but you can tell it.
That shit pisses me off. I hate dye.
Yeah. So like about 12 or so years ago, I was at this very important person's house, right? It's the owner of a nationwide construction company. And we couldn't find this leak anywhere, but the line sits super long. It runs through walls. It goes up and down and all over. So I went out with dye, but the dye kit that I had, you need an injector to it's just like this thing you twist and pushes it in. Anyways, this was kind of far from the shop, and I didn't have the injector. So I kind of rigged up like this homemade plunger thing, and I connected a refrigerant hose to it, and I started to push it in. I got about halfway in, and there's a little piece on the inside of the capsule. It spun and it blew up in my face. The dye was everywhere.
Yellow
Yeah,
dye.
yeah, and like you have a little drop of that on something, and it gets all over everything. Imagine it be like the whole capsule all over your face. And I opened my eyes, and it looked like I had blue blockers on. Everything I was looking in yellow. It was craziest freaking thing ever. I learned my lesson, and that's when I bought a good leak detector that day.
So the only kind of dye story I have, and unfortunately for me, I didn't end up doing it. So with glycol, obviously, there's no way to check for leaks. So we put blue food grade glycol. Oh my God, my kids are so loud. We put food grade glycol in there, and it literally comes in a Tupperware container about yay big by about this big. And the last person that had to add dye had to make more colored glycol, because basically we have to do the mix, right? It's a 35% mix, gives you a certain freeze point, yada yada yada. So he forgot to put the cover on the Tupperware container. So the call that we got is our entire roof is blue. That was the call. So you're talking about a place that's, I think the square footage on this building is 110,000 square feet.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think any part of that roof, because actually where the dye exploded, it was in the center of the store.
That is awesome.
Nice.
So the apprentices are up there taking a freaking taking 409 cleaner and just some elbow grease and just hammering at it.
110,000 square feet.
Yes, sir.
Oh wow.
Tall building.
Good job for an apprentice.
Yeah, right.
Why don't you just get them out of the trade and tell them they picked the wrong trade?
Oh no, you can't do that. No. That's what that's what the guy that I first worked for told me. He told me I was a piece of shit and I was never gonna amount to anything. And I would never say that to someone ever. I would feel, like I said, I would feel incredibly bad.
Right. Yeah, it's got to get done. What's wrong with leaving a blue roof?
Yeah. Feng shui.
What's wrong? I mean, the China balloons are going to see it, and that's about it. I mean, who cares?
Wonderful.
So are you an installer, Adam, by trade, or sheet metal 10 knocker, or?
I do a little bit of everything. I have a residential company, but yeah, I install, service. I am pretty decent at sheet metal, so I kind of like pride myself in that a little bit.
Okay, I touch it and I bleed. It doesn't matter how much I touch it, and I will be bleeding. I assure you. So
either pig pen, or you get real dirty, or just cutting yourself up.
Cut myself up. So I did start installing when I was upon my release, and I think everybody starts out installing, and I knew real quick that this was not for me. So I was going to do anything in my power to learn, study, read, do whatever it took to get that windshield time. And I was adamant about not installing just because I was in pretty good shape after, 10 years in an institution, walking the track, working out. We had a weight pile. But my goodness, I mean, you're using muscles, the crawl spaces, the attics. Oh, I'm out of there. No way. I'm going to learn. Not to claim that I'm a big wuss, but there was something else for me to do besides install.
Did you take any classes on programming or anything else, or 100% you just kind of like reading and watching videos? And
No, so books. I'm a big reader now. So went down to St. John's Island and spent a week down there out of society. Yes, there are beaches there, but that's where I learned how to program, how to write C++.
wow.
So, yeah, it doesn't make sense, but my brain is warped. I've done too many drugs in my life, but
No, you were just dating yourself with the C++. That's all I was saying.
so, but yeah, but my next venture, as I see it in the name, the Cooler Heads Talk with Dirk Nauman HVAC and Recovery. So let's talk about 2023.
Yeah, 100%.
What the goals are. So I know
retire.
No, that's in 2030. October 21st of 2030, I will be 58. So that's my retirement date.
Yes.
But there's two things I know: HVAC and recovery. So I am in the mission to combine the two. And the thought actually came from a gentleman by the name of Eric O'Brent. He's the co-founder of Roofers in Recovery. If you ever heard of that name, he's got a podcast. His podcast is Be Authentic or GTFO. Get the fuck out.
Okay.
So watch the podcast. It is really awesome. It's cool. So I'll put a plug in for the Roofers in Recovery.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, I said, you know what? I'm going to steal this idea. All right. And I'm going to adopt it into the HVAC industry. So HVAC in Recovery is going to be a 501(c)(3). It's in the process of being created, working on the bylaws right now. And I got potential board members and potential committee members. But what we're going to do, and this is based off of how Roofers in Recovery, right there, I got the model, it works. So why try to recreate it? But we're going to raise money and we're going to send people to recovery.
Wow.
And so we're going to be asking contractors to donate the profits of one job per year, to send it out. And board members are going to be responsible for using their connections and influence, people to contractor or manufacturers or whoever, reps or whatever, to donate money. But it's going to be sending people to recovery who need to go.
How many people do you estimate are going to be able to be sponsored by this program a year?
So obviously everything starts out slow, but in 3 years' time, I can tell you that Roofers in Recovery is, and I'm going to make this a competition with Roofers in Recovery because, the HVAC industry's got to be more giving and, but it's all for a good cause. But I think last year that they sent 40 people, if I had to put a number on it. So,
wow.
That's the 2023. But Be Authentic or GTFO is the podcast. And it's a separate podcast, and that's why I've been trying to connect out to people, working with Brian Orr and people who do podcasting. I don't know how to do a podcast. I don't know what it is, and that's one reason I wanted to talk to Brett about what's the process, because let me tell you something. One thing about recovered alcoholics and addicts, man, they're funny ass people. They got some freaking stories out there. They're hilarious. And but and not only that, is that when we go to these conventions, I can never make a AA meeting because it's way out, and usually just get an Uber. So I'm going to put some pressure on these conventions, and I'm going to bring AA into the conventions, have a meeting in the mornings before the convention starts.
Wow.
So that's my goal. Whether it happens or not, we'll find out.
Right there, you can do your opening prayer right in the morning.
You got it. Morning meditation.
So we're going to do that at AHR in Chicago coming up this year, huh?
I'm hoping.
Yeah, nice.
I'm hoping it'd be next year, but 2020, 2024.
Right.
Yeah. So but yeah, so we have to get the legalities done first, and it'll be an open meeting, and I don't know what the format will be. If it's going to be an open meeting, probably be a speaker meeting, and hopefully we have somebody who went through recovery program and it's having short time success, being that it's going to be new. But if not, we'll bring an old school guy that has recovery that's in the HVAC industry, and so I don't know. I have no idea. It's something that I feel like I have to do. And again, we'll see where it goes, but hopefully we can team up with roofers in recovery and start a halfway house or get a place out in the middle of nowhere in Minnesota or Montana with a lake on it, and send people there and have a place to go to and get their mindset correct. So.
Oh man, that's amazing. Like the fact that you're going to be able to put that many people through, because I mean, typically what recovery is at a bare minimum, 3 months can be
Usually 30 days. Depends.
Yeah.
There's different programs.
Yeah, and you're still going to be able to work with some of the places to get you scholarships too.
Yeah, absolutely. But a lot of funding is going to come from donations. So,
gotcha.
But yeah, it's going to be pushing that here, and probably hopefully I get the HVAC excellence in, when is that, March 20th, and right before that on the 16th 17th I'm going to be at the Epic. You ever heard of Epic 2023? So I forget what Epic stands for, but Weldon Long will be there. Met Weldon Long we didn't build it, but we're participating in fundraising for a treatment center in Champaign, Illinois. Weldon Long, rags to riches guy in the HVAC industry. Forbes 500 he was released right when I was going in, and he had the fastest growing HVAC company. I think he sold for like 50 million or something crazy.
Damn.
Yeah. He wrote 3 books, The Power of Consistency. He's a sales guy. But he'll be at Epic. Steve Young, the quarterback, will be there. He's a keynote speaker. Julian Michaels, the fitness guru, she'll be there. And then one of my favorite authors of all time, John Maxwell. He wrote books on leadership. He's going to be out there. So I'm going to be pushing HVAC recovery on these guys also. But then after the HVAC Excellence, the ESCO event, once I get all these presentations done, I'm going to be really kicking this thing into high gear.
Awesome.
I'd love to have you back on when you get a little bit closer, with the rest of your funding and the rest of your 504s and stuff, man, just for an update on how things are progressing.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate the invitation.
No, absolutely. Adam, you have any, man, you are a damn open book. You have any more questions for Dirk?
No, I think I'm actually really looking forward to seeing you. I'm going to be at Excellence, so I'm going to try to jump into one of your presentations.
So I'm the first speaker on Monday. I think it's at 7:00. It's crazy how early they start. But yeah, so we're going to be profiling people. So,
like the HVAC profiler.
So, but yeah. And again, this is for mainly for instructors where they go to get education. And I've yet to find anybody who inspired to be an HVAC instructor as a kid, astronaut, fireman, police officer. I've never met a child or adult who inspired to be an HVAC instructor. You guys know anybody?
No.
Okay. Yeah. So a lot of times instructors are people who can't do it in the field anymore based on physical reasons, or it's a retirement job. They do it for insurance reasons. And back to that philosophy of mechanic or technician, a lot of them, are good with what they do, but it's a different set of skills to teach.
For sure.
Yeah, different set of skills. And I'm not knocking anybody for their ability not to teach, but they really need, if you're an instructor, you need to go out there and learn the skills, how to teach. And part of that is, my title out there is, but can you teach it? Most of these instructors know it. All right. They know it. But, the personalities is what really disconnects. Personalities are what cause conflict. And, some people are more, outgoing. I'm an introvert. I hate freaking parties. I hate them. I'm the guy standing in the corner all by myself.
Yeah.
I am not the life of the party by any means. And but you got to be able to recognize these personalities and, and not only how to identify personalities, but, how to communicate with the personalities. And that's pretty much what my presentation is going to be on. We're profiling is what we're doing.
Awesome.
So,
Very cool.
And then I think Eugene, have you ever sat in Eugene's class? Which one is he doing? I think he's doing pressure enthalpy without tears. Have you ever sat in that?
I have not. We're actually having Eugene on the overtime show next week, though. So
Okay.
looking forward to that.
Yeah. So his time block and my time block are at the same time. So and me being the new guy, the biggest fear is like I'm gonna have like 0 people there in my presentation.
So any other curriculum that you're doing is all available on the HVAC simulator, or are you putting that somewhere else?
No, it's directly linked to our product.
Okay.
So that comfort cooling simulator, there's a curriculum with it. I call it the refrigeration simulator, but so many people panicked. Refrigeration, hell no, I'm not touching that crap. And so we had to change the name of it to comfort cooling because it's so much different than refrigeration, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, but no, yeah, it's all online.
Awesome.
Check us out.
Well, Dirk,
go
ahead.
One more time, hvacsimulator.com, right?
That is correct. Yep.
This is what you guys will see. HVAC simulator right here.
Very cool.
As far as do you have prices on the website?
If you go to products, it'll be there.
And you have a couple new ones coming out too. So stay
Correct.
tuned.
Yeah.
Products.
We were hoping to have them by the first of the year, but yeah, we have instructor guides, technician workbooks. Here, actually, I'm going to present one more time.
Okay.
Before we get off, because I'll show you.
Okay.
It's going to be a little bit too. 1 second here. I didn't think about doing this. But there is, and I can send a free link. Anyone listening to this, I can get them the free link. I don't know if you can post it on somewhere, but I can send you a link.
Yeah.
Hang on here. Where's the heck's the sign in? I'm as bad as you, Brett.
To your website.
No, this is somewhere else here. Training, e-learning. Here we go. I'm in the wrong freaking place. All right. Share screen, present. Share screen. So this is the HVACR learning network.
It's not pop up. There you
That's
go.
me. Sorry.
So this is the ESCO Institute e-learning, their LMS.
Mm-hmm.
So not only do we have the desktop, but we have the digital simulator. It follows the same curriculum.
Okay.
If it's going to pull up, maybe. HVAC simulator. Nope, wrong one. So there is a free. You actually just go to the ESCO Institute, and you'll see this free one right there.
Okay.
So but what it looks like. Resume.
Hey, Dirk, you should send me over one so I could take a look at it and then do a little review and see if we can use it over at Coolsys there.
Not a problem. But it's basically learning how to read schematic diagrams. Give it a call for heat. And so we got the heck is going on? Call for heat. Inducer's running, so we're going to have voltage go to the inducer. And then we can check pressure switches across. So we really hit potential difference. So you can see it on the meter. So potential difference 0. And then this one actually has a fault in it. It's going to be a hot surface igniter open, but we have 120 volts, but there's nothing at the hot surface igniter. We can see that these lights represent what you can see and or hear in the field. So we can see the igniter's not glowing, but we have 120 volts going to it. So the way I teach schematic is you start at the component and you work your way back to the power. Find the component in the schematic and work your way back. We know this is actually working since we have 120 volts going to the hot surface igniter. Therefore, the only other possibility is the hot surface igniter is open. So, and then you can see the fault codes of 34. 34 is ignition proven failure. You can take a look at all the possibilities. And there's 16 different faults you have to go through. You're definitely going to learn how to use a meter and how to read schematic. And that was the whole point of it. So
very cool.
Yeah, we're gonna have to hook up because I want to play around with that thing.
But yeah, you can get the free. Yeah, I'll send you one. Not a problem. That's easy enough.
Cool.
Are you going out to the HVAC Excellence?
No, unfortunately, I won't be there. I will be at the North America Sustainable Refrigerant Council in Urbandale, California, on the 4th through the 6th. It's a 3-day event. As anything and everything you want to know about either CO2 equipment, or hydrocarbons. Cool. So, for how much Bill usually asks about transcritical CO2, I should hope to see his happy ass out there. So.
Well, I'll see Adam out there.
Yeah, for sure. Looking forward to it.
All right.
Well, I appreciate this opportunity.
No, man, I appreciate you coming on and being the open book you are and telling your story, and thanks for what you're doing for the industry, man. Like, you know, there are people out there that need help, man.
Right.
And, you know, a lot of times they suffer in silence.
And they can give me a call. You can be a total stranger. I do pick up private calls. I do pick up, numbers that I do not know. So feel free to give me a call anytime, whether it's HVAC or recovery. And if you just want to talk, I will definitely, put everything off to the side if, someone needs help. If they're struggling with drugs or alcohol, just call me. You do not have to go through this shit alone.
Well, that's commendable, brother. That really is, man.
Yeah, just go to HVAC Simulator and just call that number. You can text that number also. I'll get the message.
Okay.
Sweet.
Well, once again, thanks, Dirk. And everyone have a good afternoon.
Yep.
All right.
Take care, everyone.
All right, bye.
Thank you.